one of our favorite things to eat is steak, and I'm sure you can relate. We have definitely changed the way that we make our steak throughout the years, especially doing what we do now. And we wanted to just talk to you about, number one, like how we used to cook steak, and then number two, like what we've learned throughout our journey of selling beef. And then we want to talk about how we do it now. And I think we're pretty good at it now.
We have to preface this by saying when we got married, we were very young.
Yes, we were like
Too young.
20s, like 20.
20.
20.
Okay? So that's been a few years ago. We definitely, when we started off,
How
we
many
went
years
to local places and got steaks that were cheap.
We bought them from like a big box store.
Yeah, and we
Like,
thought it was the greatest
It
thing.
was just steak night. We didn't do that very often. And I
We
think,
didn't have any money, so let's start with that.
and there was a time that you had freezer beef, like with your family. And so we did have farm fresh beef.
But you have to remember,
eventually.
we were very, very, very young, too young probably to get married. We were very, very, very broke, and we just, it was a different time in our lives.
Well,
so,
I remember you cooking ribeyes, and you would do like a ribeye sandwich, which I
imagined it being like
I
a
can't
McRib.
say I always loved it, but
I didn't love it either.
I know you loved it. So I just remember you saying that I'm gonna make ribeye sandwiches, and I was like, okay. Like, but how would you do that? You did it on the grill. Do you
And we
remember
cooked it
making
until
them?
it was
Gray.
There was no seasonings.
We knew when it was gray, it was about done. And so, like, that's how we did it. And a lot of times, like, we wouldn't, we had, like, terrible thawing practices, like, we just would, like, oh, it's still a little frozen, like, whatever. And so, like, yeah, I just remember eating, like, gray steak. And, you would kind of, like, chew on it, and you're like, oh, this is good. This is good.
This is great.
So yeah, and that's just kind of how we did it. We just didn't know any better, and we'd get the grill out, or we'd put it in the cast iron skillet, and so at least we did that.
Or the George Foreman, remember that?
Did we have one of those?
We had one.
Did we? We did not.
We did.
I don't remember this.
I do.
I don't remember this at all. What? I'm gonna have to like go back.
We did. It was the white thing that flipped down.
Maybe.
It was like a toaster for steak.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's been a while. So anyway, what we want to talk about now is like our journey of steak making, and then like what we do now, which we're actually in the process of doing right here, and you'll get like a little bit of a demonstration. So I'm not going to guarantee like the quality, because this is just us like cooking steak in our kitchen right now. So, but anyway, I think the first thing that I will say that we learned is like
Seasoning.
That is important. Yes, so seasoning is important,
Not cooking it until it's gray.
and not cooking it until it's gray. Yes.
A low,
I think
medium
one
rare.
thing that I have definitely learned is once you can learn about temperatures, it will change your cooking like completely. So I used to like cook chicken until it was just like dry. And then I learned like the food safe temperature for cooking chicken, and it was like not that high.
165.
And so, yes. Is it?
Yes.
I have my little chart over here. I should go get it. Here, I'll go get it. This will be fun. Now, this is... I will give a disclaimer, because this is Hobby Lobby's opinion of food safe temperatures, not the USDA. So that is my disclaimer. This is from Hobby Lobby, as you can see. But I do have this on the fridge, and it does kind of help. But yeah, chicken, yeah, you're right, 165. And then beef. So for beef, like there's different temperatures based on like, obviously, like
These
how...
are internal temperatures. These are
Internal.
not you touching the outside going, is it hot enough?
Please don't touch that. So anyway, yeah, so like ground beef, like when you're making like a meatloaf, that temperature is like 155 to 165. And I was always overcooking my meatloaf too. And then I figured out like, oh, this is the ideal temperature. And so, when you're cooking like, rare, medium, well, maybe let us know in the comments what your steak choice is. We will not judge. I will not judge. He might judge you.
No, I'm judging. All the way.
But yeah, once we kind of figured out the temperatures, like it just changed a lot of things. So get one of these like wherever. Make sure that it is like
Accurate.
USDA and accurate. I am not going to endorse the Hobby Lobby one, but it does give you a good range, especially for the chicken. I think chicken was a big deal.
Probes over there.
Okay, we're so excited. So he's running around the kitchen right now. Like, you just did an entire circle.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so yes, get a thermometer. We have a couple thermometers. One of them is like a cheap, like $10 one we got at Meijer. And then recently for Christmas, my parents got him this like bougie thermometer. It is called a meter. Yes, it is called a meter.
Wi-Fi.
I learned about this through Eva Shockey's page. So thank you, Eva Shockey, if you ever watch this, for referring us to this amazing thermometer. So anyway, it was like on her gift guide or something. And so this connects to your phone and it like, okay, so show how it'll track like the depth. So like it'll have 3 different temperature data points. I say data points because that's what I live on at work. So it'll track like the thickness, you know, so it'll be like, it's this temperature here, but it's this temperature here and this temperature here. So I don't know if we'll be able to demonstrate. We should demonstrate this on a brisket sometime. That would be a great idea. But anyway, get a good thermometer. It does not have to be as good as this one. This is our upgraded thermometer.
Although this one is fantastic.
But it is
Let's just be
fantastic.
honest.
But the one that we used, that was just like the basic, like, I do recommend a digital thermometer. I just think it helps. And the one that we had that was like $10 worked great for years. And we used it for years. We still use it.
You used it last week.
Yeah. So I think the other part is over there because I washed it.
Oh.
But you can show this part. My arms are not long enough. You're gonna have to do it. Yes, okay. So this is the one that we like bought a while ago. That was like 10, maybe not $10, but it's digital and it turns on and you can, you know, set your temp and you can choose poultry or pork or beef. And this works really, really well too. It's an OXO brand, which I know is pretty popular and familiar. So anyway, temperature was a big deal. And then, I don't know, I'm talking a lot. You should chime in on just like the process. So like the sous vide and resting and
Sure.
stuff.
So, sorry, I'm trying to get my
I will
meter
go get
connected to my phone.
the supplies.
So, if you can see behind me, right here, I'll just go back there. So this is the most amazing thing, and shout out to my buddy Matt for giving us the idea. This is called a sous vide. What it is basically a heated probe that cycles water, and it's a water bath for whatever you got in there. So in this case, we have a T-bone and what was the other one?
A New York strip.
New York strip. So we have a T-bone and New York strip, and as you can see at the top, there is a temperature setting. And we can go up or down by 1/2 degree at a time, whatever you would like, in order to get the perfect internal temperature. And the nice thing about this is, I'll move it back over here. The nice thing about this thing is that once you set it there, it will, we can de-thaw. Thaw, the meat
Why isn't it called de-thaw?
up from the -10 that we keep it at. Hello, USDA. Indiana state inspections. Anyway, so from the -10 that we keep it at up to, you know, a food safe handling temperature, then there's multiple things you can do. You can take it out. We can actually season these. We can put them back in plastic bags or in the freezer lock bags with seasonings, stuff like that. Oils, you know, if you're using chicken or whatever, you can do different, you know, tallow even. We're experimenting with that quite a bit now. Shout out to tallow. Anyway, so little plug there.
Shout out to tallow.
So anyway, we got this. Did you get it at Sam's Club?
Yeah.
So it was the Sam's Club sous vide.
At Sam's Club. I think it was not cheap, but I think it was like $150.
Yeah. Well, we can put in,
So
we
it
can
was-
literally put frozen meat in there, bring it up to 32, 34 degrees, whatever you would like. Then we can take it out. We can put seasonings and stuff like that in there, or you can actually just leave it right in the sealed bags that we come with, or the sealed, vacuum sealed packages, and take it all the way up to 129 like we do. 129 seems to be the temperature that we really like. Sometimes we go warmer. We can cook. You can cook vegetables in this. You can cook chicken. You know, any other protein that you got. But we really like this.
So the sous vide part is actually the, I don't know where
The
my
probe.
finger-
Yep.
It's actually like the probe that is like circulating the water and heating it and sensing the temperature. That is the expensive part. You can actually purchase them on their own just by themselves. And then you can get like, you know, a large container to put it in. I know our friends that told us about it, they've used their sink before. They've stuck it like in their sink and plugged their sink and just used it that way. So
A lot of
it
different ways
might
you can
be
use it.
like a little cheaper if you just get like the probe itself, but we just did the whole thing because it's easier. And then, like you said, you can do marinades in it. We've done fajitas in there and just put all of the marinade in with the meat and then stuck that in there and cooked it. You know, we've done. I don't know that we've done vegetables. Did we do vegetables?
I know you can. We have not done it, I
Yeah.
don't think, but I know you can. But you can take them all the way up to cook temperature if you don't want, you know, any kind of crust or anything like that on them. You know,
I
you
don't
can.
know about that, but
I would not do it. I like a nice crust on my protein.
but you could do chicken. I think we've done chicken that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So moving on. Seasonings were another big part. And actually, I might pop them out and start seasoning them while you're talking about the seasonings, I guess. So just like, I don't know, pop them out.
Notice for very long. You know that we really like Kinder's, and especially this one. This is my favorite. This is prime steak. This has black garlic and truffle in it. This is actually one of our newest ones that we really like, and we just tried it out. Kinder's chimichurri and Brazilian steak mix. It's very good. I was very impressed when I had it last weekend. What did you put it on? I forget.
I mean, steak, but oh, the buttery steakhouse.
Yeah, this one was. No, the Brazilian.
Oh, I just.
It was just a steak for the
Yeah,
salads
we
we had
have
in there.
several others.
And then we also can, this is a very good one, Buttery Steakhouse. Sometimes we try different ones just based on whatever cut it is. This is the one I tried last.
Yes.
Okay,
that
this, I
one
was
is
wrong. It was
wonderful.
not the Brazilian. The Brazilian's very good. This one, Cowboy Butter. This is the newest one that I really like. It's got Dijon, did I say that right? Dijon?
Dijon.
Dijon butter and chili in it, or chili powder. So it's a very good steak seasoning. We're very happy to have it and try it. But if you can't tell, we love Kinder's. I have all of them. I really like them. So the one that we use on burger occasionally, not a burger video, but this is one we cherry cola, pretty good on there. We just tried it on there. But yeah, this is the newest one I really like, Cowboy Butter. So it's right up there with the prime steak one. So but adds a little bit of a southwestern flair. Very good. So as you can see, Juella has taken out the steaks and she's getting ready to season them. But basically, the nice thing about the sous vide that I really like, and I didn't know this until I discussed it with my buddy Matt. He said one night we were actually going over there for dinner, and he said, we were running behind because traffic or whatever. You know, it was a pretty far little drive, and it was right at rush hour, so traffic around Indianapolis was unbelievable. But I said, hey, we're running behind. We're probably going to be 30 to 45, maybe 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour late just because of traffic. And he texted back, no problem. Steaks will be, we'll stick on the steaks when you get here. And I'm like, what are you doing to do this? And so he went through the whole thing. We got there and they're just sitting on the couch watching TV, having a good time. And I'm like, why aren't you prepping your steaks? He goes, they're already ready. And I go, what do you mean they're already ready? He goes, no, they're already ready, I promise. And he goes, all we have to do is just throw them on the grill and we just do a quick sear and they're done. I'm like, well, how did you do that? And he told me this, and he had one of the original sous vide systems, and it was. He showed me. He goes, I can just leave it in here when it hits 129 degrees in Cimarron or whatever temperature he had it at. He goes, I can leave it in there for several hours, and it doesn't change the temperature, but it just keeps cycling the bath, the meat bath, and that sounds weird. the meat bath.
The ideal temp for that he told us, I think it was 129.
Yeah.
So we set it at 129, we push the button, and then
It's continually
just
warms up
hold
the
it.
meat up to temperature. When
Yeah.
it gets there, it just stays.
Yeah.
And it can stay there for a long time, and it won't continue to cook. It won't continue to do anything. All you have to do is just take it off, put on our.
So yeah, once that hits 129,
Cowboy
then we
butter?
season. Yeah. So do you want a cowboy butter?
I do.
And then I'm gonna do Brazilian steak tonight. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is yours, right?
Sure. That is a big old steak.
It looks very nice.
Don't be stingy.
Don't be stingy. I won't be stingy. There's a lot of pressure with you holding the camera right there. All right. This is not how I would do on a cooking show. This is not a cooking show.
Nope. Don't be stingy. Throw it on there.
Won't be stingy. Okay. So that's probably good, right?
Yep.
And then I'm gonna do Brazilian. And then I just use like a knife to flip them. Yeah, you just want like a nice coating. You don't want to overdo it because the steak needs to taste good, like, and shine through the seasoning. But that's probably good.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna let them sit for a little bit, and what we do, I can actually turn on the.
Oh yeah, we gotta kick on that. Yeah, so I think the next thing that we learned is like your skillet temperature. So I remember in like the early days, we would just have like a warm skillet and we would just like cook
It
it.
would cook for a half hour.
The art of the sear is the next. I should have had like bullet points, like boom, 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 boom. The art of the sear.
You can
is what
add
I
'em.
call it. I can. Yeah.
It's our video.
So,
They're your odds.
you have this like down pat. I tried it on my own and I don't think I do it quite as good as you. But what you want to do is like walk through that process because we also add, you sometimes use butter during that process, but we've recently been using tallow. And I tested it last night. I had a steak and it was a filet and I put tallow on one half and then I flipped it and I used butter on the other half and then I flipped it. So I was trying to get like a sear on each side of the steak, to compare how it was. And I think that tallow gave it more of like a crust and like a, that like burst in your mouth type of feel where it's like kind of, I don't know, it's like what you get at the steakhouse, like where you just get that like a little bit of crust and then it's nice and tender inside. And the butter was nice, it was just it didn't have that crust on it. So I think the tallow is really good for that.
We are going to try it tonight. I've not tried it yet, so
Yeah, so this will be like a good
very excited to try it.
deciding factor, I guess.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the meat probe to connect. It's not connecting for some reason.
Oh, on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how long are we searing these?
About a minute and a half. We're gonna watch them a little bit. Being on the cast iron, I like a nice crust on my meat, so I usually just kind of peek at it a couple times to see when it starts to get the crust on it. Then we flip it. So that's
And I
my
failed to make anything else with this meal. Right now it's just steak.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to figure out if we're making like a vegetable or something.
We'll get it.
We have salad. Yeah. Well, I'll figure that out in a minute. But I don't know. Do you want to show the searing and then?
Once it gets hot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe that gives me time to figure out what else is.
I want to let these. So I want to let the meat sit and rest for about 5 minutes before we even put it on there, because that helps it absorb in those seasonings and just kind of add some flavor to it. So if you flip those directly right on to the cast iron, they are all that seasoning, or at least a lot of it's going to come right off in the pan. So we want to let it absorb in. We want to let it kind of absorb those flavors and those different textures and tastes, and really.
I think it makes it juicier too.
Yeah, I
when you do
absolutely
that.
agree.
Yeah. There's some science behind that. We'll have to we should outline that sometime about like the science behind it. But the rest,
The art of the rest.
the art of the sear and the art of the rest.
It's like brisket. We rest for 5 or 6 hours.
Yes, we need to do A brisket.
I can do that.
You want to make a brisket tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. It's supposed to be windy. I'm not gonna smoke one tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
So, yeah, I guess whenever that gets hot.
So generally what happens in a normal situation with dinner is this is when we start our sides. So I don't know what she's got planned. We figure out, usually we have a plan. This time we did not have a plan. She's pulling out mashed potatoes. So yeah, we'll try that. So, but we're waiting for that. And I like to start seeing the cast iron. I like to start seeing just a little bit of steam / smoke come off of it. That means that the oil is burning off a little bit. That's what I really like seeing, because I know that pan is very, very hot, and when I put it on there, it's going to be a quick, fast, aggressive sear, and there's going to be no, very little. Looks like I'm starting to get a little bit of steam here, or a little bit of smoke. But I really like to get that piping hot pan, and then we get ready to flip it. Flip it right on there. So looks like it's just starting to get there. So this is bad. My coworkers are gonna say stuff. My coworkers are gonna say stuff about me not cooking. So.
About what?
Yeah,
Oh.
all right. That's what you want to hear when you throw them on. You like to hear a nice tss. That means we're going right on a hot iron. Cast iron skillet. We're starting to see smoke. Probably kick on our vent fan, which will make a little noise. But if you can see it, that's what we got. So we're gonna let them simmer for just a little bit and then get ready to flip around while my enchanting maiden continues her search for things in the background for our sides. But we'll come back. Look at that bowl.
I'm back. Yes.
How much towel do you put on here?
A scoop.
A scoop.
1 scoop. Here, you can have this. I just use like a spoon. I don't think there's a specific amount, but just some. A good amount.
A good amount.
A good amount. That is
you
Pioneer
put that much on
Woman
each one?
says that. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then what it does is as it gets warm, it just kind of melts and absorbs. And then when you flip it, that's when you're gonna get that good crust on it.
Warren Farms beef tallow. Another shout out.
Yes, we are so excited to have tallow. This is kind of a new thing for us to be using while we're cooking too. Like we haven't always had tallow, and so we're kind of learning along with our customers, and I think it's going to be fun. So I have yet to add it into my skincare routine, but that might be the next step.
I'm gonna add it into mine too.
I'm sure.
Depends on you. I don't have a skincare routine, so.
So, all right. I guess we could get like a close-up of that.
Yep, I'm gonna check these. We should be just about done on this. Yep. Oh, look at that. You see it?
It looks
crust on there.
very nice. Let me get you a plate. All right, I'm on clean plate duty.
My question for you guys is, what do you like to have with sides, or for sides, with your steaks?
Steak and potatoes.
I like green beans.
Green beans.
I also really like cooked cauliflower and cooked carrots, so it's kind of weird, but
I
I do enjoy.
am the steak and potatoes kind of person.
Absolutely.
I really like Brussels sprouts, but when they're done right. And I haven't figured that out yet. I think I need like an air fryer. People keep telling me about this air fryer thing, and I can't get in with it. But how's it going?
All right. Nice little crust on there. Don't know if you can hear it or not. It's very hot. But nice little crust on there. So remember, the internal temperature is 129 is what we started with. It is going to raise slightly, especially I think near the bone is where it actually raises. I have to look that up. I don't remember.
And how do you like your steak?
I like mine medium rare, so 130 to 135 with the crust. So that generally gives us, when we start at 129,
Oh, yes.
my wife's trying to burn down our house. So when we start at 129, we let it rest for about 5 minutes, and then we kick up the heat and give it a nice little sear. That's, to me, that's where the sweet spot is. I really, really like the crust that it puts on there. When you can hear it, when you can scrape your fingers across it and hear it, it's fantastic. So again, she is going to be eating a New York strip while I'm eating my wonderful T-bone, which again I don't get very often. I really like ribeye; that's my favorite. I'll do a fillet. I'm not as big a fan of fillet for a variety of reasons, but they're very, very good. I'm not going to knock that. But of the two, I'm going to pick a ribeye over a fillet. Because when we sell out of ribeyes, we don't get any ourselves. So, but what you
And
got?
that's it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty well
It's
done.
not
right there.
gray. It's nice and
Definitely not gray.
nice and juicy. You can see. I think the tallow definitely adds.
I'm very anxious to try it. This is the first time I've tried it with tallow, so I'm very, very anxious
Yeah.
to try.
So awesome. Well, thanks for hanging with us while we make steak. I hope you learned something.
If not, drop a link. Tell us how you like yours done, and maybe we'll try it. So it's definitely something that we are interested in perfecting even more, even though we've been working on this for about 15 years now. So,
Yeah.
or 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been married 16 years this year. So in July.
Awesome. Well, thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.